It is Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve. I love Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve's the best. And so by the time you get this video, it hasn't happened yet for the day because I film all this early and then, anyway, by the time you get this, I will have gone out to my annual Christmas Eve breakfast with the whole family, with my parents and my brother and his wife and my niece and nephew, the whole family, you know, and done that and it getting ready for Santa. It's so exciting. I'm so excited for Santa. I love Christmas so much. Santa is my favorite. I know him. And that's it. I'm just brimming with excitement today and you don't even know. We are talking about holiday packaging today just for funsies because people wanted to see my process and kind of what I did anyway. We're going to do that and it's Christmas Eve. I'll tell you more about it being Christmas Eve and how I know Santa in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 24 of 31 days of Soapmas, and as I said, it's Christmas Eve. I'm super excited, and yes, we're talking about holiday packaging, and there's a reason for it, because I get a lot of questions about labels, and just generally there are always questions about labels, in all the soap forms and everything, and so I thought I would talk about my process. Now, I'm not going to go too far into Canva because I have done that and show you guys how I used Canva to make all of my labels, but I am going to show you what I then do with those labels because a lot of people are outsourcing their stuff. I choose not to, and I want to talk about why and why I think that that's a better move for my business personally. Even though we do a lot of volume, this still works better for us and all of the things. And I'm trying some more kind of artistic shots and stuff with this video. In preparation for year 4, because the Sudsers know why I'm doing that for year 4. If you don't know, that means you're not a Sudser. But anyway, so let me know what you like of that too. I'm kind of nervous to send you to it, but we'll see. Let's get to the video and we'll chit chat about fun stuff on Christmas Eve. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. It's Christmas Eve. I am so excited, and it is going to be an awesome Christmas, and I am here with you guys because you guys are also awesome, and 31 days of Soapmas, doesn't end. And so we are going to be doing labels today, and also playing with new angles because I also used this as a way to test for my year 4 content and the different stuff that I was playing with. But anyway, I make all of my labels in Canva, and so what I do is I size the actual design that I want to the size of the label that I need. So in this case, my label itself is 1.25 inches wide, and then it's 8.25 inches long. So it fits on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I can print, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 on there. Yeah, sure. 8 to a page on regular 8.5 by 11 paper. Now for the paper that I use, I get just a light cardstock, and it runs through my printer without any problems whatsoever. I use a Canon printer, a laser printer. I found that laser printers are going to be the best for this if you are going to make your own labels. Inkjet, you're going through a lot of ink. It's actually more expensive in the long run, and they rub off too easily. And so if you're wanting to do waterproof labels or the like, laser or inkjet is never going to work. Laser is going to be the best for that. So I highly recommend you invest in a laser printer if you're going to be making your labels from scratch. Now, because I am building everything in Canva and I know the dimensions of my bars, I can make sure that my label, so the actual title of my soap and the scents and everything that goes on the front, is lined up appropriately, and my logo is where I want it, either on the back or on the side, and the ingredients list is also where I want it on the back, so nothing is getting cropped off or in a weird place when I go to wrap the bars. Very, very cool tool, Canva, to use for your labels. I then export it as like a PNG and then just dump it into a Word doc with my margins set to the smallest they will go. So I think 0.18 all around in order to get the print, and kind of go from there. Now, I use this also for all of my other labels. So if we're talking about sticker labels for boxes or sticker labels for whipped sugar soap scrubs, bath bomb labels, etc. and so forth, I design everything in Canva, designing it with the packaging in mind first and foremost, because there are like rules around how big your labels all need to be, and you know, in proportion to the product that you're labeling, but also it with the actual paper in mind, because I do want to maximize the amount of labels that I can get on each piece of paper, obviously, because we don't want to waste anything. And so if there is an opportunity to make a label slightly smaller in order to get, you know, 3 or 4 more labels on a page, I do that. So with this particular paper, again, just cardstock, no big deal. With the labels that I'm going to show you in a little bit, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's an A4 paper that is waterproof and shiny, and it's a full sticker paper. I 100% recommend working with full sticker papers if you're going to be making your own labels instead of the, you know, Avery templates, because they have those little cutters that the round cutters, if you're wanting to do circular labels, you can pick those up at any craft store on Amazon with all manner of sizes, and it will really help you out in the long run, because you can get more to a page if you're not, you know, strictly sticking with Avery's labels, and two, actually lining those up and getting the printer to work correctly with the Avery template and whatever has never been my friend. And the last thing that I want to do is spend any amount of time fiddling with my printer to make sure that everything is completely lined up before I print. And that's really what you have to do with the Avery templates and the Avery labels. Maybe they've gotten better over the years, but I personally have been using Avery templates and labels since I was like 8, because we used to use them for you know, holiday gift mailings and everything. They were a pain in the butt then. They were a pain in the butt when I finally gave up on them 10 years ago in this whole like soapy thing. And so I don't know, maybe they've gotten better, but with my experience, they are still a massive pain in the butt. Now with this particular, now we're moving on to the boxing. After I've labeled all of my soaps and everything, and then get them all packaged up. This particular one is just for a gift set that was sold during the holiday season. It's just a 4-pack of the winter soaps, and I pick my packaging based on the absolute smallest size I need realistically, and I find that by stacking, you know, my soaps or whatever is going together up and measuring to see how many different ways I could potentially, like what types of boxes I could potentially use. I have a huge backstock of boxes in all different shapes and sizes, and so whenever there's a new product run or a limited edition gift set or whatever run, I look at my sizings and all of my stock and determine which ones I'm going to use for it based on what's going inside. And honestly, also sometimes the gift set is built around the size box that I have, because I don't ever want too many of different types of boxes. This particular box is very good. I did get it at Paper Mart, and it is a bakery box that is 4 by 4 by 1.5. Now the cool thing about Paper Mart and getting your boxes from there is that you can just do a search in their packaging, you know, area or whatever for the actual dimensions and sizes that you need, and then it will help really narrow your focus, because Papermart is a huge website for sure, but if you eliminate all the things that are too big, it won't get you, you know, off on down a rabbit hole of looking at all the pretty packaging, because I love packaging for sure, but I don't really have time to sit there and stare at this beautiful box and think about, oh, how could I use this? What could I put this in? And or what can I put inside this rather? And so it really is better just to figure out the dimensions of the box that you need and then go ahead and narrow your search by that and only look for those particular boxes. Speaking of boxes, because shipping is getting more and more expensive, I would encourage you to resist the temptation of getting really fancy boxes. Like I have gabled boxes that I loved so much. I was so into those for a number of years, really oddly shaped boxes. And now that I am doing so much more business on the website with the prices continuing to go up. They recently killed my regional rates, and so that sort of sucked a lot for shipping. I have decided in the last 3-4 years to no longer use the gabled boxes and only go with things that are small enough to fit inside nicely, neatly, maximizing space inside either a Scotty stuffer, so you can fit that into a padded flat rate envelope, or into a medium rate box from, the just a regular USPS. You can also do, if you're using pirate ship, you can do your dimensional and your weight shipping and go through UPS, and then you can use your own boxes. But for the most part, I try to use USPS whenever possible and ship that route. So I do try to keep my packaging that I'm purchasing for my gift sets in small enough so they can actually fit inside, if that makes sense. Shine so brightly, oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. Now, all the stickers that I'm putting on here, this is what I was saying earlier, that I print everything out, on my own and hand cut everything. And then, this is printed on the A4 paper. Now, the apprentices and I have found, because I am going to get this question and I'm just going to say it right now, I do not use paper cutters. We have them. We have big ones. We have small ones. We have all that. It is slower to use a paper cutter and there's more chance for messing things up for us. That might not be your journey than it is just to cut things by hand. And so for that reason, we cut everything by hand for all of our, labels, with the exception of, again, round labels, which would be cut out just using a die cut from, again, you can get it at any craft store or at Amazon in whatever size you need. Now, this is the A4 paper that I was talking about. It is completely waterproof, a full sheet. And as long as you make sure within your document that you're building your labels in, or you're inserting your labels in, that you have the appropriate settings set for this. And so so A4 paper, all of your labels should line up perfectly, and you won't be experiencing any sort of cutoffs when you are printing out. So that would be the biggest thing that I would suggest for the actual sticker labels and everything. They're dead useful, very, very versatile to use this A4 paper. I don't believe it works with inkjet printers. I do think it's just a laser paper, and definitely it's so cheap. It's like some stupidly cheap amount for 100 sheets of paper. It'll get you, quite a long ways. And for this particular ribbon that I have, I also just picked that up from Paper Mart. So I usually only make orders at Paper Mart, I don't know, maybe 6 times a year. And I maximize it because I think all orders over $200, there's a discount, and an additional discount over $400. And so I try to maximize that and get as much packaging as I possibly can to essentially offset the shipping. And that's when I pick up my ribbons. And so I do have a back stock of ribbons that I use just as I can for different holidays or whatever, just something a little bit special to put on top of these, these packages. Obviously, for the most part, these sorts of sets, it's kind of hard when you're building gift sets for the Christmas season specifically. It's hard to know what the end user is going to want to do with them. Now, because retail shops, when in the brick and mortar, I obviously want my stock to look beautiful and festive and whatever. And so I do the pretty ribbons and all of that. But it's not super necessary if all you're doing is strictly through your website, because somebody, your end user, can totally just put a bow on it. The end user that buys from my shop can also just put a bow on it, but I do just want for the look of the shop for it to be festive. And it is sort of a 50-50 split as to how these things are being used as gifts. Some people are wrapping them, in which case they can just take this ribbon off and put it on top of the wrapping paper. But others, about again 50%, they use boxes like this for stocking stuffers. And so if you're not going to wrap your stocking stuffers, this is a really, really good idea, because sometimes we have to put some extra stuff in the stockings because Santa forgot something. You know what I mean? And so we just put a little thing in there just to make sure that they have some extra love from us. And, Santa gets the credit, of course, for it because he gets the credit for all of the awesome things because he's amazing. But yeah, so that's why I put the ribbons on. I think it's a good idea. It really does finish and complete the box and all the jazz. And obviously it looks beautiful for product photography when it's all said and done. So putting in that little extra effort doesn't take long at all to wrap a little ribbon around it. It ends up being a big payout for, again, if you have a brick and mortar, so you're retail facing, or just as beautiful photography for the website. And then the final stage with all of the holiday packaging is obviously photographing them for the website. And so, I use this awesome light box here. I put everything inside, and then you have your picture magic for your site. It's beautiful. It's Christmas Eve, guys. And there it is, a video of some kind of something. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you are enjoying your Christmas Eve. I am, and I am excited. I know that I will continue to enjoy it today. It's the best. It's the best. The sudsers are the best. Everything is the best right now. I'm very excited. This is the most excited for anything I've been, I think, all year. And so thank you for being here for a year, and thank you for being here for today. And obviously the sudsers, thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. I love you. I mean it. I'm going to go. I really am. I know that I'm being overly awkward and really fast talking and super I feel like, can you see my aura pulsating right now? It's super wild. So I'm going to go. I am going to go get ready for Santa. So thank you for being here again. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round because we're doing it again. It's Christmas Day, but we're still doing it of 31 days of Soapmas. Soapy fun. Bye. Christmas tree, how richly glorious, Jack's